Shadows of Birth, RAW's inception and early vision. Imagine a country freshly emerged from the fires of partition. Its borders vulnerable, millions displaced, and enemies watching every move. In the shadows, a secret organization begins to take shape, quietly assembling a network that will become the guardian of the nation's unseen security. This is the birth of India's Research and Analysis Wing, RAW. Hello everyone. Welcome to Spyward Story. Before we start, comment below where you are watching from and subscribe to follow the secrets of intelligence agencies worldwide. Today, we explore RAW, India's silent shield, and its early journey in shaping the nation's security landscape. 1947 marked the birth of a new India, but independence came with immense challenges. Borders were porous, political instability threatened the nation's cohesion, and the trauma of mass displacement tested social and administrative structures. Amid this chaos, India's leadership recognized a crucial gap. Conventional forces could not adequately monitor or respond to threats beyond national borders. To fill this void, RAW was conceived, a clandestine organization tasked with intelligence gathering, strategic analysis, and covert operations. Its founding vision was revolutionary. Unlike traditional intelligence units, it operated entirely beyond domestic surveillance, focusing on external threats. Its mandate combined foresight with secrecy to anticipate political upheavals, monitor neighboring countries, and ensure the safety of India's sovereignty. In essence, RAW was to be India's eyes and ears in the shadowed corridors of power, influencing outcomes without ever being visible. The agency's architects drew inspiration from established intelligence agencies like MI6 and the CIA. Yet they understood that India's context demanded a unique approach. South Asia's geopolitical landscape was volatile. Newly formed Pakistan posed immediate concerns. China's presence in the region added uncertainty, and political developments across the subcontinent were unpredictable. RAW needed strategies tailored to these complexities, combining human intelligence, analysis, and covert field operations. Recruitment for RAW was selective and strategic. Analysts and operatives were drawn from civil services, military backgrounds, and academia, chosen not only for skill but for discretion, adaptability, and analytical thinking. Training emphasized cultural awareness, operational security, and the ability to synthesize fragmented information into actionable intelligence. Every report, observation, and operation was cross-verified and rigorously analyzed before influencing policy decisions. From its earliest days, RAW faced monumental challenges. Field operatives were deployed under diplomatic cover, often entering hostile or unfamiliar territories to gather critical information. Analysts in Delhi worked tirelessly to interpret these intelligence streams, constructing coherent narratives from fragments, intercepted communications, newspaper reports, political rumors, and eyewitness accounts. The precision of these early efforts set a standard for RAW's operational culture: meticulous, proactive, and discreet. RAW's operations were not limited to monitoring enemy movements. The agency developed techniques to identify subtle patterns, whether in political discourse, troop mobilization, or economic shifts. Every anomaly was examined for potential threats, every trend evaluated for long-term implications. This analytical rigor allowed RAW to advise the government on strategies that could preempt crises before they materialized. The early successes of RAW were complemented by important lessons from failure. Operations occasionally faced setbacks due to logistical challenges, incomplete intelligence, or unforeseen political changes. Each setback was documented, analyzed, and incorporated into improved protocols. This culture of learning and adaptation became central to RAW's identity, shaping an organization capable of evolving in response to new threats. Even in its formative years, RAW's work extended to international observation. Subtle collaborations and discreet information exchanges with friendly nations helped the agency refine methods, improve surveillance techniques, and understand the broader geopolitical landscape. These early lessons laid the foundation for RAW's future in cross-border operations, international collaborations, and modern intelligence gathering. By the end of this initial phase, RAW had established itself as a silent, vigilant guardian. Its influence on regional stability, foreign policy decisions, and national security strategy was profound, yet largely invisible to the public eye. The agency's ability to operate in the shadows while shaping tangible outcomes became its defining strength, a strength that would be tested and expanded in the years to come. Part 2. Cross-border frontlines. The real test of any intelligence agency lies not in its plans, but in the execution of operations across unpredictable frontiers. For RAW, the early years meant venturing into territories fraught with political instability, border tensions, and hostile surveillance. The agency had to establish itself not just as a watcher of events, but as an anticipator of crises, moving swiftly to influence outcomes without revealing its presence. RAW's first cross-border operations focused on India's western frontier, particularly the nascent state of Pakistan. Tensions following partition were palpable. The region was rife with refugee crises, sporadic violence, and intelligence gaps. RAW agents, operating under diplomatic and commercial covers, infiltrated critical areas to collect information on troop movements, political developments, and emerging insurgencies. These operatives often worked in isolation, with communication lines that were tenuous at best, and every mission carried the constant risk of exposure or capture. In these early operations, RAW learned that intelligence is as much about analysis as it is about fieldwork. Agents in the field provided fragmented reports, which analysts in Delhi meticulously synthesized to form actionable insights. One report might detail unusual military activity near a border town. Another, subtle political alignments within local leadership. Individually, they were incomplete, but together they created a picture that could influence national security decisions. This synergy between field operations and analytical rigor became RAW's operational hallmark. The agency's early cross-border missions were not without danger. There were incidents of operatives being traced by hostile intelligence agencies, sudden political changes that invalidated months of preparation, and logistical failures that jeopardized missions. Each challenge, however, was transformed into a lesson. RAW refined its operational protocols, enhanced agent training, and developed contingency strategies that would support increasingly complex missions in the future. In addition to human intelligence, RAW began experimenting with early technical methods, intercepting communications, observing troop patterns from afar, and mapping logistical networks required a blend of ingenuity and careful planning. These efforts allowed the agency to gain strategic advantages, sometimes before events even unfolded on the ground. RAW's meticulous approach to intelligence collection ensured that every piece of information was verified, analyzed, and contextualized before influencing policy decisions. The geopolitical landscape required RAW to maintain constant vigilance beyond immediate borders. While Pakistan remained the primary focus, the agency also observed political and military developments in neighboring countries such as China and Nepal, along with emerging threats from distant but influential powers. Analysts monitored shifts in diplomatic rhetoric, trade relations, and military deployments, building a comprehensive intelligence mosaic. This proactive approach allowed India to prepare for potential conflicts, navigate regional tensions, and make informed strategic decisions. RAW's early operations also highlighted the importance of networks. Establishing reliable informants, leveraging local contacts, and ensuring secure communication were critical to mission success. Agents learned to move with discretion, blending seamlessly into communities, while analysts in Delhi remained the central hub of information processing and decision-making. The coordination between operatives and analysts became the lifeblood of the agency's effectiveness, ensuring that even the most sensitive operations could proceed without public exposure. By the end of this period, RAW had not only conducted successful cross-border reconnaissance and intelligence gathering, but had also built the foundation for more ambitious operations. The agency had proven its ability to navigate complex terrain, manage risk, and deliver actionable intelligence with precision. These early achievements set the stage for international collaborations that would expand RAW's influence and operational capacity in the years to come. In the next chapter, we will explore how RAW reached beyond its borders to collaborate with international allies, sharing insights and learning from established intelligence communities while asserting India's strategic autonomy. These partnerships would shape the agency's global perspective and enhance its operational sophistication. Allies in the shadows, international collaborations. While RAW's early operations along India's borders demonstrated the agency's ability to gather critical intelligence, the complexities of global geopolitics demanded a broader perspective. RAW's leaders realized that safeguarding national interests required not just regional vigilance, but strategic collaboration with friendly international intelligence agencies. These partnerships would provide access to techniques, technology, and insights that were crucial for refining operational capabilities. In its formative years, RAW established discrete channels with several foreign intelligence communities. While overt alliances were politically sensitive, covert exchanges allowed India to benefit from decades of experience held by agencies such as the CIA, MI6, and select Middle Eastern intelligence services. These collaborations were carefully managed to maintain India's autonomy while gaining tactical advantages in training, surveillance, and information analysis. The agency focused on several key areas in these international collaborations. First was technical intelligence sharing. RAW acquired knowledge about surveillance devices, communication interception, and encryption methods that were far more advanced than what could be locally developed at the time. This exposure allowed RAW to implement secure communication channels, refine operational planning, and protect sensitive missions from detection. Second, RAW learned the importance of agent management and tradecraft. Experienced operatives from allied agencies shared lessons about recruitment, undercover operations, and risk mitigation. RAW's agents adopted these methods, customizing them for India's unique cultural and geopolitical environment. This included strategies for infiltrating hostile territories, managing cover identities, and establishing reliable local informants in complex and often dangerous regions. Third, RAW benefited from intelligence analysis frameworks used internationally. Allies taught the agency to correlate fragmented information from multiple sources, identify patterns, and predict adversarial moves before they materialized. These analytical tools became central to RAW's approach, enabling the agency to provide actionable intelligence that informed both military strategy and diplomatic decisions. During this period, RAW also participated in joint operations with select friendly nations. These operations were carefully calibrated, often focusing on tracking regional insurgencies, monitoring arms, smuggling networks, or intercepting covert communications. While details remain classified, historical research and declassified reports indicate that these collaborations enhanced India's regional security posture, while simultaneously strengthening the agency's technical and operational capabilities. One critical aspect of these collaborations was maintaining discretion. RAW operated with a philosophy of minimal exposure, sharing insights when strategically beneficial, but always safeguarding the agency's operational secrets. This ensured that India's interests were advanced without compromising sovereignty or revealing sensitive methods to other parties. Furthermore, RAW's international engagements facilitated training exchanges. Operatives were sent abroad to learn surveillance techniques, counterintelligence protocols, and covert fieldwork methods. Upon returning, these operatives implemented advanced strategies within RAW, improving the agency's efficiency and effectiveness in both domestic and cross-border operations. The knowledge gained from allies also accelerated RAW's development of strategic foresight. By observing global intelligence patterns, the agency learned to anticipate geopolitical shifts, understand adversary behavior, and implement preventive measures. This allowed RAW not just to react to threats, but to proactively shape outcomes in favor of India's security objectives. As RAW matured through these international collaborations, the agency became a hybrid of indigenous ingenuity and learned expertise. Its operatives were skilled in traditional fieldcraft, its analysts proficient in modern intelligence methodologies, and its leaders adept at balancing operational autonomy with selective collaboration. This combination allowed RAW to expand its reach, strengthen India's regional influence, and operate confidently in the increasingly complex world of international espionage. By the end of this phase, RAW had established itself as a capable and discreet player on the global intelligence stage. Its alliances, though largely invisible to the public, provided a framework for more advanced operations in the decades to follow, including sophisticated technological espionage, field operations, and covert communication networks that would define its operational identity. In the next chapter, we will explore how RAW developed its covert arsenal, blending technology, gadgets, and communication systems to ensure operatives could conduct missions safely and effectively, maintaining India's edge in intelligence operations. Covert arsenal, technology, gadgets, and communication. In the shadowy world of intelligence, information alone is never enough. To operate effectively in hostile territory, RAW had to equip its operatives with a sophisticated arsenal technology, gadgets, and secure communication systems that could ensure both mission success and personal safety. The development of this covert arsenal became a defining feature of the agency, allowing it to function silently yet decisively across borders. From the very beginning, RAW understood that modern espionage required more than human intelligence. Technical capabilities would serve as force multipliers, enabling operatives to monitor enemy movements, intercept communications, and relay intelligence back to Delhi without detection. Early experiments focused on encryption, developing secure communication channels that could withstand interception attempts from adversaries with far greater technological resources. These systems evolved from simple coded messages to advanced encrypted radio transmissions, ensuring operatives could coordinate complex operations in real time. Gadgets and field equipment played a crucial role. RAW agents were equipped with tools that enhanced surveillance capabilities, from miniature cameras and recording devices to concealed listening equipment. Each device was designed for portability, discretion, and reliability under extreme conditions. The agency invested heavily in research and adaptation, often repurposing commercial technology into covert operational tools. Analysts collaborated closely with field operatives to identify practical needs, translating intelligence requirements into tangible solutions that could be deployed in the field. RAW also pioneered methods of covert data transmission. Dead drops, coded letters, and secure courier networks allowed information to move across regions without exposing agents. The agency developed protocols for emergency extraction, rapid communication during crises, and methods for maintaining operational integrity when missions faced unexpected risks. These systems were not just technical marvels, they were lifelines that safeguarded both the mission and the operative. Another critical innovation was intelligence fusion. RAW integrated information from multiple sources: human intelligence, intercepted communications, open source materials, and technical surveillance into a comprehensive operational picture. This synthesis required sophisticated analytical frameworks and an intuitive understanding of geopolitical dynamics. By combining these elements, RAW could anticipate adversary actions, identify vulnerabilities, and develop strategies to influence outcomes before threats materialized. Training played a central role in utilizing these tools effectively. Operatives underwent rigorous exercises in device handling, encrypted communications, and fieldcraft. Simulation of hostile environments ensured that agents could operate under pressure, make split-second decisions, and maintain operational security under scrutiny. The integration of technology with traditional espionage skills created a versatile and highly capable workforce. As RAW refined its technical capabilities, The agency also focused on internal security. Counter-surveillance measures, encrypted storage of sensitive data, and protocols for rapid response to breaches were implemented. These measures ensured that even in the event of partial exposure, critical intelligence and operational integrity remained protected. The emphasis on technical security reinforced RAW's reputation as a meticulous, forward-thinking organization capable of adapting to the evolving landscape of international espionage. By the end of this phase, RAW's covert arsenal had matured into a sophisticated toolkit that empowered operatives across challenging environments. The agency's ability to combine human ingenuity with technological precision allowed it to conduct high-stakes operations with confidence. Often unseen, yet profoundly effective. These capabilities laid the groundwork for advanced field strategies, complex espionage missions, and audacious operations that would define RAW's identity in the decades to follow. Behind enemy lines, field strategies and espionage tactics operating behind enemy lines is the true test of an intelligence agency. RAW's field operations required a combination of meticulous planning, improvisation, and the courage to operate in unfamiliar and often hostile environments. Each mission was a high-stakes endeavor where a single misstep could compromise not only the operation but also the safety of agents and the security of the nation. From the early days, RAW emphasized strategic reconnaissance. Agents were deployed to gather critical intelligence on adversary military installations, border movements, and political developments. They were trained to blend into the local environment, observe without being noticed, and transmit information securely back to Delhi. These missions often involved cross-border infiltration, requiring knowledge of terrain, local languages, and socio-political dynamics. A central principle of RAW's operations was risk mitigation through planning and redundancy. Each mission involved detailed contingency strategies, alternate escape routes, and multiple communication channels. Operatives carried covert devices for recording and transmitting intelligence, ensuring that even if one channel was compromised, critical information could still reach headquarters. This layered approach minimized operational failure and enhanced agent safety. RAW also honed the art of human intelligence, HUMINT. Establishing reliable informant networks within hostile territories was essential. Agents carefully cultivated relationships, identifying individuals with access to sensitive information while ensuring the trust and loyalty necessary to prevent betrayal. Analysts in Delhi continuously assessed these networks, validating information and cross-referencing with other intelligence streams to ensure accuracy. Counterintelligence became equally critical. RAW developed techniques to detect enemy surveillance, identify double agents, and safeguard its own operations from infiltration. Operatives were trained in methods to mislead adversaries, use decoys, and maintain operational secrecy under scrutiny. These measures were vital in a region where multiple intelligence agencies operated simultaneously, each vying for strategic advantage. Operations were highly adaptive. RAW learned to adjust plans in real time based on evolving threats, political shifts, or unexpected environmental challenges. Agents used improvisation and local knowledge to navigate checkpoints, avoid detection, and gather intelligence efficiently. Each success reinforced the importance of flexibility, analytical foresight, and the ability to act decisively under pressure. The agency also emphasized integration of intelligence disciplines. Information from reconnaissance, informants, intercepted communications, and open-source reports was combined into comprehensive situational assessments. Analysts provided operatives with insights into adversary vulnerabilities, optimal times for action, and potential risks. This continuous feedback loop ensured that field missions were informed, precise, and aligned with broader strategic objectives. Early operations demonstrated RAW's growing effectiveness in managing complex cross-border challenges. Agents conducted surveillance on hostile movements, monitored insurgent activities, and identified opportunities for strategic influence. While the missions often remained unseen by the public, Their outcomes had tangible impacts on border security, diplomatic decisions, and regional stability. By the end of this phase, RA had established itself as a highly capable field intelligence agency. Its strategies combined meticulous planning, human intelligence, technological support, and counterintelligence measures to operate behind enemy lines successfully. These experiences laid the foundation for more advanced operations, ensuring that India could respond proactively to emerging threats while maintaining the secrecy and effectiveness of its agents in the field. In the next chapter, we will examine RA's silent wars, the complex intelligence operations, covert influence campaigns, and counterintelligence activities that unfolded largely out of sight but shaped the regional geopolitical landscape profoundly. Silent wars, intelligence operations, and counterintelligence. Intelligence is often called the invisible weapon of the state, and RAW's silent wars epitomize this concept. Operating in a world where diplomacy, military action, and covert influence intersect, the agency engaged in operations that rarely made headlines but carried immense strategic significance. These were battles fought in shadows, where a single miscalculation could ripple across the region. RA's approach combined covert operations with psychological insight. The agency monitored political factions, opposition movements, and insurgent groups, understanding that influence often begins with perception. Field reports provided granular details about adversary intentions, which analysts in Delhi then transformed into actionable strategies. These operations were delicate. The goal was rarely confrontation, but prevention, containment, and sometimes subtle manipulation to achieve national objectives. Counterintelligence remained a priority. RAW developed sophisticated methods to detect hostile spies and prevent infiltration. This included monitoring suspicious communications, identifying potential double agents, and deploying decoys to mislead adversaries. Agents were trained to operate under the constant risk of surveillance, always alert to traps or compromised contacts. Even minor mistakes could jeopardize months of work or compromise national security. The agency also mastered the art of covert influence campaigns. By gathering intelligence on political and military decision-making in neighboring states, RA could advise on strategies that subtly steered outcomes favorable to India. This included supporting sympathetic individuals, countering hostile narratives, and providing early warnings that allowed policymakers to act decisively. While these operations remained invisible to the public eye, their impact was tangible, preventing crises, averting conflicts, and maintaining regional stability. Technology played an integral role. RAW's secure communication networks ensured real-time coordination between field operatives and analysts. Crypted channels, dead drops, and coded messages allowed sensitive intelligence to flow seamlessly, even in hostile territories. These technical measures enhanced operational flexibility and reduced exposure, ensuring that agents could operate with confidence while maintaining strategic secrecy. One hallmark of RAW's silent wars was its proactive intelligence approach. Rather than merely reacting to threats, the agency anticipated them. Analysts synthesized patterns from multiple sources: diplomatic communications, trade movements, insurgent activity, and local sentiment, creating predictive models that informed both covert and overt decision-making. This foresight allowed India to act before crises escalated, often neutralizing potential threats without public awareness. RAW also cultivated specialized teams focused on emergency response and rapid deployment. These operatives were prepared to intervene in unfolding situations, provide intelligence support to the government, and manage contingencies with minimal disruption. Their presence, often undetected, ensured that India had an invisible safety net capable of responding to unforeseen developments along critical frontiers. By the conclusion of this period, RA had transformed into an agency capable of waging silent wars operations that combined intelligence gathering, counterintelligence, and covert influence into a cohesive strategy. These actions strengthened India's regional posture, ensured border security, and enhanced strategic decision-making at the highest levels, all while remaining largely invisible to adversaries and the public alike. The next chapter will explore the invisible shield, examining how RAW applied its intelligence capabilities to crisis management and long-term strategic foresight, ensuring that India could navigate regional and global challenges with calculated precision. The invisible shield, crisis management and strategic foresight. The essence of intelligence is anticipation. RAW's evolution into an invisible shield relied not only on field operations or covert influence, but also on the ability to predict crises and guide national response with precision. This strategic foresight became the agency's signature, transforming raw information into actionable insight that could prevent conflict, mitigate threats, and stabilize volatile regions. RAW's crisis management began with risk assessment and scenario planning. Analysts meticulously examined border tensions, insurgent activities, and geopolitical shifts, simulating potential outcomes to advise policymakers. Every piece of intelligence was scrutinized for reliability and impact. Even minor discrepancies could alter the strategic approach. This predictive capability allowed India to make informed decisions before situations escalated into full-blown crises. One of the agency's key innovations was the integration of multidisciplinary intelligence, human intelligence, technical surveillance, diplomatic reports, and economic indicators were synthesized to create a comprehensive situational awareness. For example, subtle shifts in political rhetoric across a neighboring country could indicate impending unrest. RAW's analysts would correlate this with military movements and local socioeconomic conditions to provide a complete picture to decision-makers. RAW's foresight extended to emergency preparedness. The agency maintained rapid response protocols that allowed for immediate action in cases of border incursions, insurgencies, or sudden political upheavals. Covert teams were positioned strategically, ready to act with minimal visibility while ensuring maximum effect. These measures reinforce the perception of India as a resilient and proactive state, capable of handling crises without external interference. The agency also specialized in long-term strategic planning. By studying historical patterns, regional alliances, and global intelligence trends, RAW anticipated potential threats years in advance. This allowed the government to allocate resources effectively, strengthen defense postures, and engage in preemptive diplomacy. The agency's ability to project future scenarios became a decisive factor in shaping India's foreign policy and national security strategy. Strategic foresight required flexibility and discretion. RAW had to continuously adapt its intelligence-gathering methods to evolving technologies, new forms of communication, and the changing tactics of adversaries. Analysts developed advanced models to detect patterns in seemingly unrelated events, providing early warnings that often prevented crises from escalating. This proactive intelligence culture became a hallmark of RAW's operational philosophy. In parallel, the agency enhanced its interagency coordination. Close collaboration with India's military, paramilitary, and domestic intelligence agencies ensured that information flowed seamlessly, enabling coordinated responses to emerging threats. RAW acted as the nucleus of this network, synthesizing intelligence and directing resources to where they could achieve the greatest impact. By the end of this phase, RAW had become more than a reactive intelligence agency. It was a strategic nerve center, guiding India through uncertainty with calculated foresight. Its combination of covert operations, advanced analytics, and predictive modeling ensured that potential threats were addressed before they materialized, maintaining India's security and influence across the region. Modern frontiers. RAW's role in contemporary challenges as the 21st century unfolded. RAW faced a rapidly evolving landscape of global threats. The agency had to adapt to challenges that were far more complex than conventional espionage, cyber warfare, transnational terrorism, financial intelligence, and the intricate web of international diplomacy. The stakes were higher, the players more technologically advanced, and the global theater increasingly interconnected. RAW's contemporary operations emphasized cyber intelligence and digital surveillance, with adversaries leveraging encrypted communication, digital networks, and advanced technology. RAW developed specialized cyber units to intercept communications, track terrorist financing, and detect covert operations online. Analysts worked alongside hackers and data scientists to uncover patterns invisible to traditional intelligence methods, transforming the agency into a formidable cyber presence. Simultaneously, RAW continued to rely on human intelligence. Field operatives cultivated local networks in regions prone to instability, gathering actionable insights that technology alone could not provide. These agents often risked exposure, moving discreetly to infiltrate groups, observe critical activities, and relay intelligence through secure channels. The combination of HUMINT and cyber intelligence became RAW's defining advantage in the modern era. The agency also maintained global awareness, monitoring geopolitical shifts and emerging threats worldwide. Strategic partnerships with international intelligence communities allowed RAW to share insights, learn advanced tradecraft, and remain ahead in an increasingly competitive intelligence environment. These alliances were carefully calibrated, ensuring India benefited without compromising sovereignty or operational secrecy. In the realm of counterterrorism, RAW's operations were particularly impactful. The agency played a crucial role in identifying potential threats, neutralizing networks before they could act, and advising policymakers on preemptive measures. These operations were rarely publicized, yet their effect on national and regional security was profound. RAW's ability to operate silently but decisively ensured that India maintained a strategic advantage over emerging threats. Modern threats also demanded financial and economic intelligence. RAW developed specialized teams to track funding of hostile groups, monitor illicit cross-border transactions, and provide early warnings of financial maneuvers that could destabilize security environments. This integration of financial analysis with operational intelligence allowed the agency to act with precision, cutting off threats before they could materialize. Despite technological sophistication, RAW remained rooted in traditional fieldcraft, valuing adaptability, discretion, and human judgment. Operatives were trained to combine analytical insights with situational awareness, improvising when unexpected challenges arose. Every mission balanced innovation with experience, ensuring that even in uncharted territories, the agency's objectives were met without compromise. RAW's evolution also reflects India's broader strategic ambitions. By strengthening intelligence capabilities, the agency has helped the nation navigate regional conflicts, international diplomacy, and emerging global threats. Its silent vigilance reassures policymakers, deters adversaries, and safeguards citizens, all while remaining largely invisible to the public eye. As this documentary journey concludes, 'tis evident that RAW is more than an intelligence agency, is India's unseen guardian, blending tradition with innovation, courage with discretion, and analysis with intuition. Its legacy continues, shaping security policies, guiding strategic decisions, and ensuring that the nation remains resilient against the uncertainties of the modern world. For viewers, the story of RAW serves as a reminder. Much of the security and stability experienced by nations today is the result of silent, meticulous, and often unseen efforts of intelligence operatives working tirelessly behind the scenes. Disclaimer: this documentary is based on verified historical events, research, and publicly available sources. Certain operations and identities have been fictionalized for narrative purposes. The content is intended solely for educational and informational purposes, adhering to safe reporting practices. Public MSG. If you enjoyed this in-depth exploration of RAW, comment below where you're watching from. Subscribe to our channel for more spy stories and hit the notification bell to stay updated.